Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Kelsey. I am a homeschooling mom to 4 children, and today I am excited to share with you a look inside the brand new Apologia Math 5. So this math curriculum is actually new to me as well, and I have flipped through it and I have done a little bit of research when it comes to Apologia Math as a whole, but other than just flipping through a little bit, I am going to be learning alongside you guys in this video. So let's jump in. Okay, so you looked a little bit inside this, and what were your first impressions of this book?
It was, it's less overwhelming because it has less answers.
It has less questions that you need to work on. Are you excited about the projects and things like that you have to do? How does this compare to your BJU Math, just off your first impressions?
Very great.
So this one just kind of looks like it'll help you learn with games and activities, and then you just have a few questions to answer instead of the other way. Okay, are you excited to start this one next year? Yeah. Okay, so it's a little bit confusing when you get these, but when you get the first two books, you're going to get this book, and it is the teaching guide and answer key, and then you're also going to get the bound one that is more the student book. So the reason I said it's a little bit confusing is because it does call it a teacher's guide. It doesn't say that it's, a teacher's book necessarily, or, things like that where you're getting all of your information necessarily. But it seems like this is more of teaching you, the teacher, how you're going to do this, or giving you, like, for instance, here's lesson 7, and it just gives you a little bit of information about what you're going to be doing, and then the answers for the pages and things like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the teaching guide and answer key really quickly. So in the table of contents, you have your daily schedule, you have your introduction, your daily skills practice. Unit 1 is whole numbers, Unit 2 fractions, Unit 3 decimals, Unit 4 geometry and measurement, Unit 5 percents, Unit 6 graphing, and then chapter tests. And then it gives you this really nice, which this was something I was very excited about. It is a week-by-week daily schedule, but it is only for 4 days. So it says below is a suggested weekly schedule to help you stay on track. It uses a 4-day week to leave room for a co-op or a review day. This schedule covers 36 weeks, but feel free to adjust it to the needs of your child and your family's calendar. So we were very excited about this because we do school 4 days a week, and then on our 5th day, we do our enrichment day and kind of a makeup day and things like that, field trip day, whatever. Last year it was on Friday. This year it's going to be on Wednesday, this coming school year. So I was very, very excited about that. I don't feel like we're going to be, sometimes I feel like we're getting behind, even though I know we're not. And I know that we homeschool year round, but sometimes it feels that way. So when I can find a 4-day curriculum, that just makes me so excited. So it has it broken down into each day. So you are doing the same chapter for about 2 weeks, it looks like. So you're doing chapter 1 for 2 weeks, the different lessons. You have chapter reviews, you have unit projects, and then it gives you these nice check boxes. I'm probably going to try not to use those. I kind of mentally check, but they are there if you need them. And then it has it all the way through to the 36 weeks of the school year. Then it gives you an introduction to teaching, and the main objectives of this curriculum are: number 1, fun; number 2, carefully crafted conceptual content; skills practice, ease of use, and Christian connections. The daily skills overview, it talks about that in Unit 1, you are doing addition, subtraction, and multiplication review. Unit 2 is long division. Unit 3, operations and fractions. Unit 4, adding and subtracting decimals. Unit 5, multiples and factors. And Unit 6, fractions, decimals, and percents. So you're going to be working using problem solving, and chapter tests are available if you want a more formal assessment. So here are, again, like I was saying, this is more like your teacher's notes. So this is what you're going to need through the chapters. This is the skills that you're going to be practicing. So for the supply list for Unit 1, you will need note cards, addition worksheets that you can get on the Book Extras website. Uno cards, subtraction worksheets, also on the Books Extra website, a 4-operation calculator, masking tape, a prize, scissors, tape, 3 die, a glue stick. In chapter 2, you need play money, scissors, glue, 15-inch square tiles. Chapter 3, play money, scissors, glue, graham crackers, pretzel sticks, markers or colored pencils, a clipboard, scratch paper, 8 envelopes, and a timer. And then this is talking about all the different skill practices that you're going to be doing for Unit 1. Okay, so that's kind of what you're doing. Then it has your answer for your worksheet pages, and then on to Lesson 2. And then it's pretty much the same throughout. So this is all Unit 1. You have your Chapter 1 review, and then you move into Chapter 2. So I'm just going to flip through this a little bit. If you guys need to see a little bit more in depth, feel free to pause the video. Okay, and then we end up in Unit 2, which is fractions. So let's go to the back of the book. Okay, so if we flip to the back of the book, we have the problem-solving process. So read and understand the problem, choose your strategy and make a plan, work through your plan, change your plan and try something else if necessary, check your answer, does it make sense, present your solution verbally and in writing. And then it has the questions to ask and the things that you can do there. This is the reviews, projects, things like that back here. So here's what we have for Lesson 1. Here's some more from Lesson 1. It looks like it might be like a flip book type of deal. If we keep flipping, here's a long division flip book. This would be great for my son. This would be great because he often forgets the steps in the long division. So this is wonderful that they have this. They have a little clue thing that they're gonna be doing. They have a little bingo, fraction calling cards, fill the box spinner. I'm just gonna quickly flip through these. Again, if you need to, feel free to pause. We actually have these. You can purchase this, a set that looks just like this from Rainbow Resource that we have. And so, but if not, you can just get these out of the book. They have a couple sets here. 3 sets actually. Hopefully you guys can see the whole book okay. So this will be really great. I feel like this is a lot of things that we tend to add in to our BJU Math currently. And so I feel like it's gonna be really great that we have a set time that we can add it to our day versus me trying to see how we can work it in or doing it just the one time a week. I think this will be really helpful for my son who does have ADHD. I think this is gonna be wonderful for him. Just lots of different little hands-on projects and activities. I think if you are a parent who kind of just wants to be able to hand your children their math and say, okay, here's your lesson for today, I do not think that this is going to be a good curriculum for that. I think this is going to be very much where the teacher will have to be involved and the student, you know, may need a little bit of help. Even if they understand the concept, they may need a little bit of help with the projects. Then back here we have the chapter tests. They are not very big at all. There's not a ton of overwhelming information. There's literally, that page had 6 questions. This page just has 6 questions. So it seems like they only have about 6 questions. So this is very nice because it's not super overwhelming for the student. So that was a look inside of the teacher guide and answer key. Now we're going to jump over to the student book. So this is quite a bit thicker. It does have the binding, which is very nice. So we have our acknowledgements. Again, the table of contents that we kind of already went through. We have the book icons and kind of what they mean. So each unit has skills practice. That's what that means. The zebra means you're about to do an activity. The elephant alerts you of an important concept or vocabulary word. And the meerkat icon appears before each lesson's practice pages. They also have the course website, and they have the book extras that I mentioned in the other one, where you can go for extra printable material, review, things like that, and then it gives a password. So that is where you would get that. I covered it up, obviously. So this is just saying, this is like most Apologia material, it is written to the student. So this is telling the student about the year of math. God has a plan for them. God's plan is good. God weaves all the details of your life into his plan. So the whole idea of their math is that God is, you know, creation is found within math, and God is weaved all throughout mathematics. So here is our chapter 1, place value and powers of 10. In this chapter, you will learn to follow the order of operations, use powers of 10 in expanded form to write numbers, and use scientific notation. We have our first activity, which are with our little zebra here, place value detective. You will need the activity sheets in the back of the answer key that we talked about. You will need masking tape, scissors, and a prize. So all of the things that I showed you that you will need for, you know, the first lesson, this is where it's also listed here. Have your parents set up this activity according to the instructions. Start the paper marked start and read the clues. Use your knowledge of place value and numbers to guess the correct number. Find the next activity sheet that has the same number as your answer on the top. Unfold it to read a new set of clues and guess the next number. Continue working like this until you have guessed all of the numbers. The last answer will lead you to a prize. And over here, the elephant is telling you our concepts or vocabulary words. So we have place value and period. And then we have our place value chart, in case the student maybe doesn't remember that. We have our practice. Our little meerkat is telling us it's time to practice. So we have an example up here, and then they're just going to do this. And it's just, it's not very, like, you know, it's not very overwhelming. You know, I feel like this is probably, you know, enough practice. Maybe your child might need a little more, maybe they don't. I feel like mine might need a little bit of extra practice, but he tends to get overwhelmed with a lot of information on a page. So even if I have to, you know, maybe make up my own numbers or things like that on a whiteboard, that is something I can add in. Here we have the second one, this is lesson 2, so our second activity. So far, every lesson we have looked at has an activity, and then it's got examples and practice pages. Again, an activity. So it seems like every single lesson you have some type of activity. So this very much reminds me of Math with Confidence. If you have never heard of Math with Confidence, I have a couple of videos on my channel about Math with Confidence, but they do not have a current level for 5th grade. And so this is part of why I chose to go with Apologia. My younger son really loves Math with Confidence, and I've heard the biggest difference between Math with Confidence and Apologia Math is that Apologia Math does not quite have as much review built in. So I'm going to show you guys here in a bit, as soon as I am done going through this, that I'm going to go onto the website and see what kind of extras that they have on there. So at the end of chapter 1, we have this review, skills review, and again, it's very short. They also have the tests in here again, so you can go back to chapter 1 and do the little bit of a test, or you don't even have to call it a test. You can just call it review. This is very similar to our BJU in that every day, you know, you're learning kind of the same concepts in a mastery style, but it has a little bit of review built in. and then you have like a review at the end, and then you have like a cumulative review. So here is chapter 2. Again, we're starting with an activity, but your teaching is pretty much right in this book. I mean, there is some information over in the other book for the teacher, but in general, you know, the information that you're needing for each lesson is in the book. I would say that you do need both, because you're going to need the cutouts and things like that to be able to do the activities. Here is a full page of practice, but it's still not overwhelming or a ton of practice. Again, I'm flipping through a little bit quickly, but if you need to pause, feel free to do that. The thing I like the most about this so far is that it just seems like it is going to break things down a little bit more in depth than what our BJU Math has been doing. And I think that will be really good for my son, because sometimes it does not break down, you know, sometimes it's easy for me to be like, well, this is how you do it, but step by step by step by step, I think will work best for him. So then we're into chapter 3, which is division. And it's, again, same thing. You start with an activity, you work through examples, you do some practice, and that's pretty much every day. It does not seem like it will take a ton of extra time. Might be a little bit teacher intensive, but it does not seem, technically it's written to the student. So if your student would be able to read this and follow along, I think it would be great. But I do think that for my son in particular, he is gonna need a lot of help, and that's fine because he kind of needs a lot of help anyways. So it's not that big of a deal. So that is how it continues through the whole book. They do have, I saw one back here, they have different unit projects. So when they hit the end of a unit, they're going to have a unit project. So you will need the Unit 6 activity sheets, at least 10 people to survey, a calculator, a ruler, a protractor, and a poster board. Begin this project by surveying at least 10 people, ask them what their favorite animal is, record their answer as well as what type of animal it is. The categories for type of animal are mammal, amphibian, bird, reptile, fish, or other. You may need to look up what type of animal it is. And then in step 2, you're going to make a circle graph showing them. Rate the totals, use your calculator to divide the number of species for all the totals of categories, round that decimal to the nearest 100, and record it on the table below. So not only are they doing math, but they're getting a little bit of science in here because we're learning what type of animal it is. And most importantly, they're seeing how math is applied in the real world. This is something that you may need to do, you know, for your job, or, you know, no matter what it is in life. You know, maybe you're planning an event or something like that, and you need to know, you know, different types of things like this. So this is great. I think this is a fun way to do review that is not just another worksheet. So I'm very excited about that. So these are throughout all of the different units. Here is the Unit 5 project, Managing a Million. So that is your, you know, idea. You have to help him figure out where the funds need to be allocated. So this is great. So you're gonna be doing 2 or 3 different charities, housing, transportation, a college scholarship, and any additional expenses. So real life application here again in these projects. So this looks absolutely wonderful. Again, I would say that you definitely need both of these books to be able to complete this curriculum. As far as the cost, this was a little bit more than I've been paying for math. I usually spend about $50 for math, Math with Confidence, and also for BJU Math. Sorry, my baby's crying. Okay guys, so when you go to the Apologia website, you're going to want to go to shop, go to by subject, and go to math. When you scroll down here, it's going to have book extras. You are going to need to have an Apologia account. You're going to need to be logged in. And then you scroll down here, click view book extras. This is when you're going to type in your password that you got in your teaching guide. And then when you log in, it is going to have your book extra subscriptions, and I have Math 5, so it's right there. It says, please use caution when reviewing third-party websites. There are several links to third-party websites. So you have your table of contents, course links, math prayers, your chapters 1 through 15. Here are information to help students struggling with math, math outside the classroom, hands-on math learning, free printable worksheet, free math games online, supplemental math memberships, creationist websites for reference, and co-op resources. You can also print extra copies of teaching guide pages here. So this is wonderful. So this will mean that you probably do not need to repurchase the teacher's guide every single year. You have extra pages in here that you can print. Yes, fantastic. So wonderful, great. You also have those Math 5 extra worksheets that we talked about. Here for extra practice. And then you have easy ways to score answer key pages. Our math prayers, and then this gives helpful steps. Some are videos, some are activities, different things like that to help with everything that you are learning throughout this. Down here we have our information. Here's helping kids with ADHD. I think I'm going to go over that a little bit. Math outside the classroom, field trips, fun things like that. Helping hands-on math, different activities you can do there, printable worksheets from third-party websites, free math games online, supplemental math memberships, and all the other information that they know. Okay guys, so that is it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure you are subscribed because it is curriculum month here on my channel. I am so glad that you are here. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. I will link down below. I am not sponsored in any way, shape, or form by Apologia, but I will link this curriculum down below so you guys can check it out for yourselves, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!